Hey guys, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. All right, so today I'm going to talk a little bit more about mindset. I guess more of just like the mechanics of how and why having the right mindset is going to make all the difference in your sales. And really, if you understand this concept, this is going to change your life. As cliche as cheesy as that sounds, it's really going to make all the difference. So, just tell you a little story about me. I'm 30 years old now, but and when I was 22, 23, I decided I was going to be a success. I read a ton of books. I went to a bunch of seminars, and just worked my tail off, just trying to figure out how I can change my stars, for lack of better words. So, and what I anyway, so I went through and I tried a bunch of stuff, and I learned a lot, and I understood the mechanics of sales. For one, I learned the mechanics very well. I knew exactly what to say, exactly what to do. I memorized the presentation. I was really good at articulating it. I later got into door-to-door sales a few years later, and in that office, I was consistent. I would close. Yeah, one or two deals a day. It was anyway. It was, and I was okay. I was consistent, and which is better than what most guys were doing, but it wasn't anywhere near where I wanted to be or needed to be to better support my family. It was interesting in that situation. There was a guy in that office who was just a rock star. He only sold probably 3 days a week, and he outsold everyone in the office by at least 4 times. It was incredible. I mean, he walked in the room, and just his energy was so attractive. Everybody wanted to be friends with him. Everybody wanted to be close to him. Everybody wanted to. Anyway, they were just gravitated to him, and he would get 4 or 5 sales a day, and just would run circles around everybody else. And it didn't seem like he was working as hard. And I followed him around. I shadowed him anyway, when we were going door to door, and I found out his presentation wasn't as good as mine. He wasn't as educated on the subjects as I was. But not to say that the mechanics and the education isn't important, but it's only a small portion of your success in sales, especially, and this goes for everything else in life. So, and it wasn't until a few years later that I really understood this concept of how and why he was so much more successful, being maybe less educated, less maybe put in less effort, less work, whatever, and it was just natural and easy for him. It was not personality driven. It was his mindset that was, anyway, everything came naturally. It was easy. It flowed. People gravitated towards him. And like I said, this is the concept. This is the principle that will change your life, and especially it applies in sales. So I'm going to talk to you today about something called cybernetics. There's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. It was written back in the 60s by a guy named Maxwell Maltz. I highly recommend it. It will blow your mind. But in essence, what he talks about is your self-image. Now, your self-image is what creates your results. So your self-image is how you see yourself in your brain, in your mind. I know this sounds like kind of a cheesy ass or cheesy. I said cheesy ass. Okay, it's not cheesy aspect or a cheesy concept, but this what. I can't emphasize enough how powerful this is. So your self-image will dictate the results that you have in your life. One example that a guy named Bob Proctor gives, and is when this is an airplane. Looks more like a shark, but this is an airplane. All right. So let's say an airplane puts in its coordinates. Once it takes off. Puts in its coordinates. Let's say they're going to Hawaii. All right. Let's say they're leaving LAX. They're going to Hawaii. Once the plane takes off, Once the plane takes off, the pilot puts the plane in autopilot, and he could come back and sit down with the passengers and have a drink with you or whatever, and the plane would fly itself most of the way. But the thing is, the plane is actually off course probably 90% of the time. So anyway, so let's say, I mean, things happen, you know, I have turbulence, it's a long distance, you're going to get off course, but that set the coordinates to where it was natural and automatic for the plane to reach that destination. Like I said, you know, there's turbulence, let's say it gets off track, but the cybernetic mechanism that is programmed into the plane will automatically correct, and it will make it. It will make it every single time. Another example of a cybernetic mechanism is your thermostat. Let's say you have your thermostat set to 70 degrees. Somebody opens up a couple of windows. It's November right now, and let's say it drops the temperature to 60 degrees. It's an automatic thing. It flips the thermostat, turns on the furnace, and it's going to bring it back up to the temperature or the set coordinates that you set with in your home. However you do that, it's the same thing. So your self-image is a cybernetic mechanism. You set the coordinates. Maybe you don't consciously set the coordinates or haven't in the past set those coordinates of that cybernetic mechanism of that destination that you yourself is going to maintain. Now, let me give you another example of this. I'm sure I wasn't all that great in school growing up, and my parents still oftentimes would push me, and they're like, and I mean, if I had bad grades, there's a parent-teacher conference, and anyway, I just wasn't really doing very well in school. So let's say I don't remember exactly what my grade was, but let's say it was a B minus. And anyway, my parents they thought that I was better than that. So anyway, so they sat down with me and they pushed my homework every night, and they cut out some extracurricular activities. You couldn't go play with your friends anyway. They pushed, and sure enough, on my next spelling test or whatever it was, I would do really well. I would get like an A minus or a B, or I don't know, or it would be short term. It would be short term change. So so here's Dan, kid Dan in school, and let's say my self-image was that of a B minus average. That's what I believed I was worth. That's believed how smart I was or whatever. And let's say, okay, so my parents, they make me cram, and I get an A on this test. But sure enough, my cybernetic mechanism, that coordinate that was set in my brain, is going to bring me back. At the end of the year, I'm still going to average out. Even though I got off course, I'm still going to average out at this destination. All right, so let's give another example. Let's say somebody wants to lose weight. They want to lose 20 pounds. It's New Year's. They said it's a New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to drop 20 pounds. So what do? All right, so I'm going to cut out chocolate. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do all these things. Yet their self-image is still that of a fatty. I don't mean to be insensitive here, but let's say, but if they don't change their self-image, from fat to skinny, then yeah, they may lose a little bit of weight. They may go off course. They may reach their goal of dropping 20 pounds. But sure enough, this is why people gain and lose hundreds of pounds throughout their life, or whatever. I mean, they'll lose that weight, but eventually, if they don't change this destination, then eventually they're going to naturally work themselves back to that destination. All right. So what does this have to do with your mindset? All right. So when you set So in your mindset, that's why I say when you walk into an appointment, you've got the cookie. You've got what they want. That sales guy I was talking about that did so well, I know for a fact he had a self-image that he was happy. He was upbeat. People liked him. People liked him. People were attracted to him. He believed in his mind that it was easy. He believed that why wouldn't people buy this? Even though it was kind of a mediocre product or a service that we were actually offering people, he believed it was easy. He believed in himself that he was a fantastic salesman, even though he didn't have very much experience in sales at all. Yeah, I mean, he was several years younger than me, and he's was one of my really good friends, and I didn't resent him or I wasn't necessarily jealous of him necessarily, but I wanted to know what he had, what he carried around with him. Now, when I understood this concept of changing who I am and what I believe and see in my mind about myself, this changed everything in my life. I went from basically losing almost everything, working my tail off for a long time. I worked so hard, worked hours and hours and hours, and had to fight tooth and nail for everything that I had. And and at the end of a few years, I still didn't have everything that I wanted by any stretch of the imagination. And it wasn't really that long ago. Anyway, I understood this concept, and I just decided, okay, this car that I drive, this situation that I have in my life, this income that I do and have, this is not me. This is not me anymore. What my destination, what my set coordinates is no longer that. I changed the way that I saw myself. I believe that I was worth a whole lot more. I'm worthy of having and doing more. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, well, how did you do that? What was that process of changing your self-image? Okay, yeah, so yeah, I understand that that my the outer conditions of a person's life will always be found in harmonious and to be harmoniously related to his inner state. Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. James Allen wrote that. So you change your inner state, that's going to change your outer conditions. Now, how this? Okay, so I have this stickman figure written right here. So there's two different parts of your brain, and I'm sure you've heard of this. So that you have your conscious, and then your subconscious. All right, and this is your body. All right, so the biggest change, okay, so your cognitive, your conscious brain, okay, so this is where you decide what you're going to pay attention to. Now we have these antennas. We'll call these antennas that your five senses. Now your five senses is your data input, and they're sensing your results. Okay, so the results are. This is my life. This is my circumstances. This is where I drive. This is it. And so you sense those results. And then you put meaning to that in your conscious mind, and through time, repetition, emotion, you are programming your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind causes the feeling or the vibration in your body. You can totally feel somebody's vibes, good or bad or whatever. And your subconscious mind is what causes that vibration in your body, and this changes everything in how people respond and react to you. You may say and do everything right up here in your conscious mind and have everything figured out. But people are going to sense, and their actions are going to be in response to to the vibration of your body as a result of the beliefs that are in your subconscious mind. And if you're and if you believe that that this is hard, that people don't like you, that people don't I'm nervous about this concept of the contract. I don't know if that auto pay. I don't think people are going to like that anyway. And you have you've had that experience, and you believe that in your subconscious, and then you're going to actually pull that response out of people, and they are going to react that in that way. So how you change this, how you do this, is you kind of shut off your senses. You choose anyway. So you don't necessarily ignore your results, but you put a new image in your conscious mind. You choose to believe, I am happy, I am optimistic, people are going to love this. This is easy. This is fun. I'm worth this much money. I'm going to these goals and these things that I want to accomplish this week, this day, this year. It's all resonates. This is who I am, and then you create a new result in your conscious mind, and you do that enough through repetition, through emotion, and you change the image in your subconscious mind. Will thus change your vibration, which will thus change your results. You pay attention, and then you're paying attention to these new results, which only reinforces, and then it's a snowball effect from there. I know I went kind of fast, and there's a ton of information here, and maybe this sounds a little cosmic to you, but this I can't emphasize enough how your beliefs in yourself is going to affect everything that you do. I hired a guy one time on his resume. He never made more than $9 an hour, and anyway, and talking to him, he was a pretty smart guy. He was pretty sharp. It seemed like he could be okay. He'd be decent. And anyway, I had him be my marketing manager. And I told him, I was like, on paper, it's like, okay, you get this kind of result out in this amount of time. There's no reason why you couldn't be making at least, $14, $15, $16 an hour or more. Because it was all based on production. It was like, okay, if you do it this way and you run a tight ship and you do things this way, you'll make more. It's not hard. It's easy. Make a long story short, no matter how much I helped him, how much we did for him, he never made, and I didn't pay him hourly, but how it broke down, he never made more than $9 an hour. Things took a long time. Things were hard. Things were slow. That was his self-image. That's what he was worth. Anyway, okay. So we have different ends of the spectrum here, of why that's holding people down, and why success is so easy for other people. So my challenge to you is do a little bit more homework. I've got a ton of information on this subject about your self-image, your subconscious energy, and everything, how that affects. I really think that's 80-90% of success or failure is your belief, and then your mindset, and then your energy. Just real quick, while I've on this video, just some other resources. Bob Proctor, anything that he has is phenomenal. There's a book called Cyber-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. There's another book called the Jackrabbit Factor. It's very simplifies these concepts very, very well. Anything by Esther Hicks. She's a little cosmic, but really, really good information. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful to you. And anyway, please let me know any way that I can help you, or any way I can help you understand these concepts, and so that they can help you in your life, in sales, in the business, and in the rest of your life. You guys take care.